How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, here from Unintentional Grounding, live from Orlando, Florida. And, oh, man, here we are, man. Here we are. Hold on one second as I try to fix this nonsense. Does this every time. You just have to wait just a second because it's for some reason it's effing up. So just give me 1 second. 1 second. Nope, it's doing it again. I don't know why it's doing it. Honestly, I have no idea. Jesus Christ. Latter-day Saints. Honestly. Lord Jesus in a manger. Hold on 1 second, guys. Still can't hear you or the Saints fans. Whoop-de. Jesus. Hit that like button. All right, there. We good? Better? Better or nah? Better or nah? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if that's better or nah. Share this out to your friends and family. Make sure you share this out to all your Falcons Facebook groups or your Twitters, because here we go. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be a fun discussion. Because I've been working a little bit today to try to get some videos out for you guys. Just 2-3 minute videos where I do a little bit of work, I send it to you guys, and let you just kind of hear a little thought from Lieutenant Dan on a certain subject. Let me go to the chat and say hi to all the peeps, because I want to be, I want to be here for y'all. The whole point is me being here for you guys. Evan Thompson, Jock, good to see you. Mikey's in the building, one of my admins. Seth in the building. Mr. Irv got T in the building. Herman in the building. Dawson D in the building. Charleston in the building. Erica, what's going on? Good to see you. Rise up, stay ground. I hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a hot minute. Philip Bonner. Christopher Perkins in the building. Rose Staxon in the building. Trucker B in the building. Matt Tate. Good to see you guys. Dexter Vlash, good to see you in the building, my man. Brianna, what's going on, girl? Hope you're doing well. Goodness, everybody's up in here. Everybody's up in here. Joe, Christian, good to see all you guys. Rise up, stay grounded. Who dat? Huh? Let me just sip some tea for just a second. Let me be petty, because this is only our second win. Saints fans going to scoff at me and whatnot. But, just let me take a little bit of tea. Who dat, though? We dat? Saints suspect, huh? Saints losing to a 1-7 team, huh? Saints losing to a 1-7 team, huh? Interesting. Look. Let me put it this way. I'm not going to boast. I'm not going to, get in everybody's grill, but I want you to hear this one bit from Isaiah Oliver, and this is the reason why we won this game.
Season, but you kept New Orleans to 3 field goals. Defensively, what was working for you guys today?
It was just really the communication. We were able to stay consistent through 4 quarters of the game, which is something big for us. Something that we felt like we haven't really been able to do up to our standard, at least. But no, it was really communication, I think, and then just being more urgent, lining up quicker, talking, communicating what we saw throughout the whole defense, and then we were able to make plays.
It really came down to that, didn't it? It really came down to communication, execution. And we talked about this in 2018, and I'm sorry that I haven't been here for every loss and every win. Life has been a little busy. But coming on here at least for just a second and saying, we had more communication. We had more execution. We were not confused by what we need to do, what our assignments are, where we on the field needed to be. And on the opposite side of the ball, because that's just talking about defense. But on the opposite side of the ball, not forcing the ball downfield, not over-relying on the passing game, and more yards after the catch versus trying to get air yards is important. More going through your reads, checking the ball down, throwing to the tight ends, throwing to the wide receivers underneath, throwing to the running backs. That was your winner. That was how Tom Brady does it, how Ben Roethlisberger was doing it, how some Phillip Rivers, some of the bigger, better quarterbacks in this league, some of the veterans of this league, how they've been doing it, how they've been so successful for a long time, is they have dink and dunk looks. It's important. It's very, very important. And I watched the whole game today because thankfully I was able to get to on a stream. But I watched the whole game today, and I got a couple of things I want to say. I really do. Of the plays that we were able to make, and do effectively, Atlanta showed throwing the ball to the running backs, quick reads, not 3, 4, 5, 6 guys running around on long progressions. Everything was dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. I said it to Pat, and begrudgingly, I had to admit it. But this looked like Mike Mularkey's offense in 2008. This looked like heavy dose of running game, play action, dink and dunk style of West Coast offense, and it worked. It worked. We've said this before. We've said it 100 times over. The Falcons, to make Matt Ryan a better quarterback, is to dink and dunk the ball. Matt is a very accurate passer. He's a driven quarterback. He wants to win. But you got to be able to hit your guys. And Matt Ryan was very accurate today. Matt Ryan was more determined to get a win. And it's kind of funny because the correlation of what Matt Schaub did only 2 weeks ago versus what Matt Ryan did today against the New Orleans Saints is no different. It's a lot of short passes that don't go very far, and then the players that catch the ball are able to take it for more yards. More yards after the catch. It's important to have that. It's actually more important to be able to accurately hit players down the field, no matter how many yards you're throwing it to, for those players to then get more yards after that catch. And Matt Ryan was able to get it, and Pat's probably going to have those stats at some point coming out. Make sure you follow him at The Real Pat Man. But you don't have to hit Julio Jones 20 times in a game. You don't have to feed the ball to Devontae Freeman 90 times. You just got to have a solid running game. I was actually quite surprised that Quadri Allison did not get an opportunity, even though he was active. But Brian Hill looks solid as someone that can catch the ball and run the ball and effectively block. And that honestly is it. That's it. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to you didn't have to oversimplify, or you didn't have to go outlandish and have some exotic looks. You just played sound, boring, fundamental football. Sound, boring, I cannot emphasize this enough. Sound, boring, offensive football. That's all you have to do. It's not a secret that short passes that allow your running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers to then take it up the field themselves give you everything that you want. 37 people in here, 9 likes. Please hit that like button. Share this content out to your friends and family on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch, on Facebook. And let's have a discussion today. Let's have a discussion of why the Atlanta Falcons beat the New Orleans Saints. And it's not for the lack of the New Orleans Saints being a good team, because they are. With Drew Brees, they can get a lot done. With Alvin Kamara, they can get a lot done. With Michael Thomas, they can get things done. With Jared Cook, they can get things done. Okay? They can get things done. They don't have to have superstars. They can only have a few people and go out there and throw the ball and take it. You know? But honestly, their defense thrives on mistakes, and the Falcons didn't want to make any mistakes today. Letting the Falcons go out and play sound fundamental football is what got us our win today. Tell me I'm wrong. Even though I'm not a fan of Brian Hill played the Tevin Coleman role today, and he ran over alligators in the Serengeti, and he went out there and he scored touchdowns. Brian Hill did what the compliment of Devontae Freeman. What am I talking about? He's over there just trolling on Twitter right now. Hi, Aaron. How's it going? Devontae Freeman needed that compliment. We didn't have that compliment. Brian Hill gives you that compliment player. The guy that can catch the ball and take off. Reminds me a lot of Tevin Coleman. It's what we missed in this offense. Admit it, Falcons fans. We missed Tevin Coleman. Whether we personally like him or hate him, or we just didn't like his running style, we didn't want to have to pay him the money, we missed Tevin Coleman. Because it's a part of the offense that not only made 2016 unique, but also has made the Falcons unique in running the ball. And you could tell that the moment that Brian Hill got into the game and started taking outside touches and started running the ball to the outside, that even though Freeman got hurt, Brian Hill could be your lead back. And you can find 20 or 30 Brian Hills every draft. So the first thing I want to go ahead and crush is the rumor that potentially Brian Hill's going to be the starter for next year. That Devontae Freeman's going to get moved and that Brian Hill's going to be the next starter. Don't start that rumor. Don't start that chant, because you can find other Brian Hills. You can find other Devontae Freemans. Running back is a position that is way overvalued. Way overvalued. It's like corners. Corners are overvalued. You can find a million corners. You can find a million running backs, and you don't need a world beater to do it, because you just need a guy that can make plays after he's been thrown the ball or been given an opportunity to run up a hole. And that's what Brian Hill was able to do for us today. And congrats to Devontae Freeman, who was running like this was a Super Bowl. Like this was big boy game time. Big boy game time. Offensively, Matt Ryan had a boneheaded pick. He underthrew the ball. Terribly underthrown. Offensive line did the best they could to keep that man up. But if you go look at the defenders for the New Orleans Saints and see how many times they touched Matt Ryan, especially against Caleb McGarry, You'll start laughing your ass off. Caleb McCary did his job today. And I bet that and Jamon Brown was not a helper. Thanks, Jamon Brown. But Tyson Brilo stepped in. Jamon Brown did what they could. But if Chris Lindstrom was here, man, if Chris Lindstrom was here, and that shows you the importance. That shows you the importance of Chris Lindstrom and what he could potentially bring to the Falcons in the coming weeks. I would love it. I would love for Chris Lindstrom to be back. That will be a game changer for us. We need him there. Solidifies a spot that we desperately need fixed. Need filled. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about it, so let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Your boy Vic Beasley got a sack on a stunt. And he also, I believe, recorded half a sack with Grady Jarrett as well. Let me pull up those stats for you guys. You guys want to hear those tasty stats, don't you? You stat monsters, you. You just want to hear those tasty stats. All right, fine. We'll get those tasty stats. Box score. Matt Ryan, 20 of 35, 182 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked once for 8 yards. Brian Hill, 20 carries. Jesus Christ. Because of Freeman going down, Brian Hill had to come in here and kick it. Brandon Williams, thanks for coming in here, man. Rise up, stay ground. I hope you're doing well. Good luck to the Cowboys. Shout out to Voch Lombardi. But 30 times running the ball. Brian Hill 20 times. Freeman 10 times. Matt twice for 2 first downs. Brian Hill, 61 yards on 20 carries. Devontae Freeman, 38 yards on 10 carries. Calvin Ridley once for 19 yards. Passing was... It was it. It was what it was. It was what it was. Julio Jones, 3 receptions, 79 yards. Calvin Ridley, 3 receptions, 28 yards. Austin Hooper with a touchdown, 4 receptions, 17 yards. Russell Gage, 4 receptions, 23 yards. Christian Blake with 2 receptions for 15 yards. Brian Hill, 1 reception, 10 yards, touchdown. Devontae Freeman with 3 receptions, 10 yards. Defensively, here we go. This is what everybody wanted to hear. Vic Beasley, 1.5 sacks, tackle for loss, 2 QB hits, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. Came up with a big sack at the end of the game. Grady Jarrett, though. 3 tackles, 2 solo, 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits. That's all you got to do, man. That's all you got to do. McKinley with 1 QB hit. Claiborne with 1 QB hit. Also a sack and a tackle for loss. The team came away today with 6 sacks. 6 sacks today. 6, 2, 3, half is 1, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. And Campbell with a sack. Forgot about that one. The New Orleans Saints came out with the idea that they were going to punch the Falcons in the mouth. And they thought this was the same Falcons that we have seen for weeks and weeks and weeks. And unfortunately, that's not how that works. The rumor was, this is just the rumor. The rumor was right before the game before the bye week, Dan Quinn had taken Jeff Ulbrich, the linebackers coach, and had brought him into the film room and was telling him how to study the game. Okay? he wanted him to be the defensive coordinator. Dan Quinn comes up today after the bye week, after a full week of rest and learning how to get the defense under Ulbricht's belt, tells Jeff, you are the defensive coordinator. Jeff goes, all right. Brings in cover 2 looks, man-to-man, underneath zone, cover 3 looks with Vic dropping into coverage, and they could barely pass on us. They could barely pass on us when it mattered. Then Jeff Ulbricht said, you know what? I'm gonna rush 6. I'm gonna rush 6. I'm gonna bring corner blitzes. I'm gonna bring linebackers up the middle. I'm a stunt. That's how Adrian Claiborne was able to get his sack, as well as Vic Beasley was able to get his sack as well. Stunts. Bringing stunts. Ulbricht ran a game today that made the New Orleans Saints uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. And honestly, that's a huge win for us. That's a massive win for us to go, Jeff, even though they haven't really looked at your defense, and this is surprising to them, and they haven't seen these looks from the Falcons before. Now you can go into a game against Carolina, Tampa, and New Orleans again and have some of these same looks and see if this worked. Jeff Ulbricht, I think you could look at it in 2 different ways. I know a lot of people are going to say this in a negative light, but I'm going to say this in a positive light. Dan Quinn making Jeff Ulbricht the defensive coordinator can be looked in 2 different ways. The negative light being Ulbricht took the job and he came in and he did all kinds of crazy stuff and take that, Dan Quinn. See, your defense is trash and this is Ulbricht's defense. The other way of looking at this is Dan Quinn was mentoring this guy, teaching him how to do what he needed to do so he could be a defensive coordinator in this league. What's the truth? We don't know what the truth is. And he took the job running and he got it done against the New Orleans Saints, the leader of the NFC South, as well as one of the hotter teams in the NFC currently. The Saints also had a lot of penalties. And it really hit them hard. Also, Alvin Kamara was not 100%. You could see Drew Brees was a little skittish. Just a little bit skittish. And honestly, to me, I'm looking at this as a positive. I think Dan Quinn going, I'm not the defensive coordinator that I need to be. I'm not running this system correctly. I need Jeff to be the guy to step up, to be the one that takes the mantle here. That's where we need to go. And boom, we won. And so now the identity, the change, the direction of this team now completely changes. 53 viewers, 24 likes. Please hit that like button. Share this out to your friends and family. That's even more important than hitting that like button. Share this out to your friends and family. Share this out to Falcons fans that you want people to hear this. But winning changes everything. And now that you've won a game, we can see if the team as a whole takes what Jeff Ulbricht is selling. Because they obviously are backing Dan Quinn. Julio and Allen both said it. We're backing Dan Quinn. We're doubling down on Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn hasn't done anything wrong. But the team, we have done something wrong. I think a great quality, like Evan is saying in the chat right now, a great quality of a good head coach is to know when you need to let go. Let someone else take the job. Let someone else do their work. We'll never know how much influence Ulbricht and Quinn had together. We'll never know who was the real one that was really calling the plays or really putting up the designs, but the linebackers looked better. The defensive line looked better. There were blitzes, better coverage, and even though we let up 200-something yards, let me make sure that I got that right. It's 280-something yards. New Orleans Saints threw for 287 yards. But even though they threw for 287 yards, this team outperformed the New Orleans Saints when it needed. Didn't get the turnovers that it needed, but it kept them in front. Bend, don't break defense. And we've been talking about that for a while. Bend, don't break defense. Bend, don't break defense. A defense that can stand there, take punches in the mouth, and get the sacks, get the pressures, make quarterbacks throw incompletions, which is incredibly important. And even though you came away with 6 sacks today, those hurries, those pressures, that pocket collapsing, more important than anything that we've done. And honestly, that today is my winning value. That to me is the clarification that we needed to say this team is not done. This team's nowhere near done. It's not going to roll over. It's not just going to die. And even though this team, I doubt that it's going to run the gauntlet. I doubt it just because it's statistically difficult to do so. Not impossible, but definitely difficult. If the team were to run the table and go 9-7, that would be incredible. That would be just mind-boggling how this team would change its tone. Boom, right after a bye week. But if they were to go 9-7, or even 6-10, that to me would show Dan Quinn let control go. He's the right guy for the job. Now let's find out what the hell is going on with our GM. Let's find out what the hell is going on with our players and make the right choices. Going to open up the questions so that you guys can ask away on things that you want to hear. And honestly, donated questions are going to be answered first and quickest. Regular questions, I will skim over some of them because I don't have all day to be able to answer every question. I'll try my hardest to be able to get you those answers, or at least my opinions on some of these things. But today was a good day. Today was a heck of a good day for the Falcons as a whole. We had a couple of injuries. A couple of those guys are probably going to have to get some work during the week. We've got a nice little week before we go and play against the Carolina Panthers. So let's go right into it. Let's get straight into it. Steel Wings, good to see you. Marcus Johnson, good to see you as well. Now here's my question, Lieutenant Dan. Do we fire DQ? Not sure. It's tough. Tough. How was Sheffield? Decent. He was decent. When are you doing your mock? Mock might change a little bit now that we've won. Officially, the Falcons have dropped to the 6th spot. So now the Falcons are out of the range of Chase Young and probably also out of the range of the top corner in this draft. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they take some of this and move it around a little bit. A trade down is still possible depending on who's there and who might want to jump in. We just need to get rid of some bad contracts. Don't blow it up. Yeah, I agree. Your thoughts on Jacob Tutuini Mariner today? He looked so good. And honestly, I think he's going to potentially stay on this team going forward. No Five Guys reference. No, not today. Not today. I think Five Guys reference is retired for now. If there's something that needs to be said, I'll say it. Stay grounded, Sergeant AR-10. Hope you're doing well. Should we keep Hooper? Yeah, of course. Should keep Hooper. We should definitely keep Cooper. Hooper. When will Lindstrom be back this season? Chris Lindstrom, I think he just said that he's ready to go, but they're being cautious. They want to make sure that the injury doesn't resurface or get worse. So right now, just taking their due diligence. And honestly, that's actually the correct move. We'd rather be okay, and even though he doesn't come back for a couple of weeks, he's 100%, 1,000%, and he's ready to play. And he only plays a couple of games this season and then comes back next season 100% healthy and has a full off-season training with the group versus re-hurting himself, So Do you think no matter what the Falcons' record is, TD is gone from the team? There's definitely rumors flying around that the hot seat is there. It's definitely rumors that the hot seat is there, and that could be the part that everybody goes, oh man, you know, the Falcons fired their GM, but they kept their head coach who wasn't very good. But the head coach is making good coaching decisions. Honestly, I think that's a trait we need to kind of key in on. Let's see here. What else we got? Bringing Neal down, the linebacker, next year. Bringing Neal down just to see if he can play next year. That's the real thing. Thoughts on Brown being benched late for Sombrilo? Might be time to go ahead and try to have Sombrilo come in just for a little while. See what goes on. Last few questions before we get out of here, because this was a good win. It was a positive win, and honestly, I could care less if we win another game this year, or we win every single rest of the games this year, whether we make the playoffs or not. I could care less, because I saw the team go, here's the problems, this is the solution, apply solution, and they did it, and it worked. It just honestly did. Last few questions. Are you nervous about our punter? Seemed like he couldn't punt at all. No, not really. What did you think about Campbell's play today? It was improved. But Aluakon was actually out there on a lot of coverage duties and was given opportunities to play. So they definitely know that Campbell's probably going to be going, and they're trying to give Aluakon as many opportunities as they possibly can so that he can grow, mature as quick as possible. That way he can be out there and participate. And then potentially be the starter next year next to Deion Jones. That would be interesting. Dan, do you want the team to keep winning or play for draft position? I could care less at this point. Draft position or not, I could care less. Draft where you are. Don't draft based on what's around you. Draft where you are, not what's around you. Draft based on what you can control, not what others are doing or what, outside sources are saying. Only draft for you. That's important. That's important. I don't think a lot of people follow that philosophy. I think a lot of people are enamored by what's going on around them versus what you can control right at your pick. So no matter whether you're pick 32 or you're pick number 1, you have to control what you do. Always. And that's, honestly, everything else doesn't matter. We could be pick 15. We could pick 8. We could pick 5. We could pick 21. We could pick 24, 32. Hike. I don't care. Honestly, to me, draft position doesn't mean anything to me. Draft position, actually, system adjusted round fit means more to me than draft position. Draft position is a thing to catch fans' eyes. If you draft well, no matter where you are, and are not worried about surrounding things, it's more important. How about the kicker? The kicker was great, man. The kicker was great. Can we just get some hype in the chat, guys? We just beat the Saints, man. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys at? Hit that like button. We just won. We beat the Saints. We're 2-7. 2-7. I know it's not a winning record right now, but you can't say a win over the Saints is not a great day. Come on. Hype the chat up. Come on. Hype that chat up. Let's go. Go Falcons. Win out. 9-7 saves DQ's job. Then so be it. But I want to see this team win regardless of how the season ends. BPM short films. Good stuff. Good stuff. Is D Block back? Oh boy. 26-9. And what's really funny is that at the end of the game, the Saints were trying to score to make it so that it didn't seem as bad. And also the Saints started playing their media or their staff or whatever, whoever is at the stadium. Listen to this. This is really going to piss you guys off. They started playing the 28-3 loss in the Super Bowl to the Patriots so that the fans would cheer and be like, ha, 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 ha. And, like, the fans weren't having any of it. The fans were walking out of the building. And it's like, a loss is a loss is a loss. And the meme, I think, is dead. I think that meme's really big dead. Like, big dead, like really big dead. Because now the Falcons fans don't care. They just beat New Orleans. And New Orleans fans don't even care either. Because they're just like, we just lost to the 1-7, now 2-7 Falcons. We just lost to a team that has 7 losses already in the season. And we couldn't beat them. Are we joking? At home. We couldn't even beat them at home. What is up with that? What's going on? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. And this all came on, by the way, that Sean Payton, the day that Sean Payton got engaged. Oh, ouch. Feels bad for you, man. Feels bad for you. Honestly, the Saints, though, they without trying to trash New Orleans, because I would rather be honest and upfront, New Orleans still controls their destiny. They can still go to the playoffs and have a really good record in a really good position, and I think they will still. I still think they will. Atlanta needs to control Atlanta things. We play against Carolina this coming weekend. We got to win against Carolina. Doesn't matter what our record is. Doesn't matter about our draft position, what it could be, what it is currently. We just need to play our game. Just got to play our game. When are you doing film sessions? I have begun to work on them, and when my new computer comes in, I got to change the setup and everything, so I'm holding off just a little bit so that I can get the new computer. Things can run quickly, run faster, run more efficient, and I can give you guys better quality content. Honestly. Spent all my grounder dollars that I've ever gotten from you guys. Spent it all on getting a new PC that'll run faster, better, stronger, quicker. So thank you to the grounders who have supported me, sent donations in. Honestly, you guys and gals are the ones that got me to this point. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing. Rise up. Stay grounded. Take it easy. Gonna go have dinner with the wife. We'll give you guys more updates, more thought-provoking questions this week. Quite a few videos coming out this week, actually. Quite a few videos coming out this week. So just prepare yourself. Patreon is in the description, as well as direct pay to my PayPal. If you want to check out either one of those and support the channel, you're more than welcome to do so. And generosity is greatly appreciated from all of you guys. Make sure you share this out to your friends and family. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Rise up, stay grounded, take it easy, y'all, and I will talk to you just a little bit later. Peace, hair grease, and I'll catch you again real soon.